Yeah, Raghu. Like I was telling you yesterday, I mean, I'll just give a brief introduction about myself. So I've been into PEGA technology and in the corporate training field for about like 4 years now. So I take up all the major certification trainings, starting with the basic level of CSA, and then CSSA, then CPBA, then like CPDC, which is for decisioning consultant, and CPMC, which is for marketing consultant. So I take up trainings for different frameworks as well, like for CRM, starting with marketing, sales automation, and customer service. So like this is about myself. So I've been working as a developer as well as a corporate trainer as well. So this is just like my brief introduction. Like can you also just provide your introduction? Probably like if you have.
Yeah, sure. I will talk about myself.
Sure.
So for me, like as I mentioned yesterday, my professional experience is like now close to like 12 and a half years. I have been working for Avaya and Cisco contact center applications and unified communications. Initially, I started as a implementation and support specialist, support engineer in Chennai. Then I slowly moved towards pre-sales and consulting roles. So since last 5.5-6 years, I'm into this consulting role. I'm here working as a technical consultant for communications technology. Our main business is into unified communications contact center. So I understand the integration between CRM applications and other telephony applications. But now that I wanted to expand my skill set, because there are many opportunities that we have to deal with our customers and partners, and sometimes we also have to deliver some trainings for the customer administrators and users. So my consulting role also has this expectation and requirements. So I thought before I take up a professional my company can also give me some sort of a trainings. But before that, I wanted to see if this PEGA is of my interest, and if it is easy for me to learn it. So that's why I wanted to try this first personally. But I chose this business architect because my role is not completely into deploying the applications or something, but I would still want to do learn technical things and also kind of touch business and the consulting side of this. So that's why I chose that this is a blend of both. So I chose this course.
Exactly. I don't know who suggested, or probably you have explored, but you have chosen the right certification is what all I can say, because this is basically both, it deals with both business as well as the technical aspects also. So this is not like a regular or a normal BA kind of thing where it is called business analyst, right? Generally, but in PEGA we call it as business architect. So where you will know the business, as well as you will also be able to showcase the complete business process to the customers then and there itself, and then you can get them reviewed also. So, which is like both, it involves both the business as well as the technical aspects.
Okay, good. But I only chose this because of what I feel, because I know what I'm doing. And I explore. I gone through the PEGA Academy and websites and other websites which talks about PEGA applications and everything. So then I saw the certification path, which it looked very close to my profession.
Yeah.
So I thought I will try this. So even if it doesn't work, I can still go ahead and change something. So this is just a try.
Right. Because I hope that exactly suits your requirements. Like depending upon what you're telling, probably this will work out. Okay, then yeah, maybe we can just get started for a demo session for today. So we'll be looking at the basic introduction of PEGA, the various application development studios, the different roles a PEGA project offers, and we'll also see if all of this is done, probably we can look at creating an application as well. Okay. So, okay, as you've already explored PEGA, right? So you could have had an idea already. Like, what is Pega? Is it a tool? Is it a platform? Is it a software? So what do you feel is Pega?
So based on what I gone through, I would say I initially had a lot of confusions about finding the right what exact products they have, but then after reading a little bit more deeper, I understood they have, I think, two major solutions. One is towards BPM tools, which is business process management,
Exactly.
and then CRM applications. So CRM, maybe I think BPM is a larger framework than the CRM, and CRM can be accomplished within BPM. So Pega's main portfolio should consist of CRM application and BPM. So BPM, they call it as a tool, and CRM, maybe it's a software application.
Yeah, right. Whatever you told was, that was fine. Pega is basically a platform, or you can tell it as a software development or an application development tool. Okay. So where the business users along with the IT team, they'll work together. Rather than writing the code, it will be mostly like you will be using visual tools, the visual components, where you can just drag and drop the components and you will be able to build an application. Okay. They would, I mean, I will not say that there wouldn't be any code, but the writing of code is very minimal. It's completely like no code or very low code kind of application development platform.
Okay.
As you have already said, Pega is one of the pioneers of the BPM category, because the implementation of Pega is basically done using the BPM. And which is like an umbrella, and inside which the frameworks you have mentioned, like CRM, we have other frameworks as well. So all of these would be part of that specific BPM umbrella.
Okay.
And I can use this, or I can say that we have the frameworks which suit different domains. Mm-hmm. We have frameworks which suit for, for the banking category, and we have frameworks which are different for insurance. We have framework for different domains actually, for like healthcare and stuff. So for each different domain, Pega caters different set of frameworks.
Yeah.
So framework as in, it is like already built an application which can be directly reused. So all the features of that framework application can be reused in your current application that you build.
Okay.
And the main advantage is that the business users and the development team will go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. The process of starting with creation of cases and case types. So, probably like it could be kind of new terminology for you, but going forward, cases and case types are the terminology that we would be hearing once we start exploring the Pega platform. Mm-hmm. So generally the business process is referred to as a case.
Okay.
So like we would be dealing with the business analysts or the business architects would be dealing with creation of these cases, creation of the case types, which is like depicting your business process or the customer's business process in a pictorial representation as a form of the flow. So we'll be looking at those things. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, as we have just discussed, both the business and the IT team will be using the shared visual mode in order to capture your business requirements directly in the platform. So the general practice for business analysts is that they work with the customers or product owners in order to get the requirements, or the product backlog, what they generally call. Okay, they put that into features, epics, then into stories and stuff, right? Which is part of the Excel sheet or any other tracking or monitoring tool like Jira or that sort of tool. But here we do not need to use any of such tools and stuff. The requirements are directly put into your application, right? You depict them in a business process or as a case. Mm-hmm. where it is understood by both the business architects as well as the system architects, which come under the development team.
Okay.
So here we have something called direct capture of objectives is what we call, where the customer requirements or objectives are directly put into your application.
Mm-hmm.
So starting with, before moving on to BPM and stuff, we'll just look at some basic concepts like process, business process, and that sort. So as the general definition goes, process is something which involves a series of actions or steps taken in order to achieve a particular end. So let us just take some examples for this. Probably like you make coffee. Okay, assume you are making coffee, which involves a series of steps.
Yeah.
So I can call that a process. So similarly, you are making a project report, okay, which also involves some series of steps. You gather the requirements first, then aggregate them into different parts, and then you send it to the reporting manager or whoever. So that also involves some series of steps. I can call that also as a process. Agreed?
Yeah.
So both of these can be called as processes. Now moving on to something called as business process. I cannot call every process as business process. Okay. So as the definition of a business process goes, it involves a collection of related events, activities, decisions that involves a number of actors, resources, which collectively lead to an outcome that is of value to an organization or its customers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when we correlate this particular definition with the process where you are making a coffee, that does not add any value or outcome to your organization. Agreed? So in that case, I cannot call your coffee making as a business process.
Okay.
Right? But when you're generating a project report or you're creating a project report, that actually adds some value to your organization, which means you're working for your organization and that project report is important for your organization, which is basically bringing you some outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So, which in case I can call your report generation or report making as a business process. Agreed?
So basically, normally every process will produce some sort of outcome in general. But
Right.
when we call business such process are not called as business process, but what we call as a business process is that such process which produces actual value to an organization
Right.
or
for the customers as well. Yeah, it could be either organization or for the customer.
Okay.
So only then I can call something as a business process. Okay, let us correlate this with a typical example. Okay. So this is the example or the life cycle of an regular e-commerce business where a customer is trying to buy something. Let us take this example where you are trying to probably buy a book online. Okay, you start searching for the book in different sites. Okay, maybe you have found the book. Then what you do is you look for the lower prices. So there could be different vendors who are manufacturing that particular book. So, and you wanted to select a vendor which gives you the book for a lower price.
Okay.
Okay, once you have finalized, then you will go ahead with the payments. Once your payment is done, which means your order is placed, then your book is or the product is packed, shipped, and then finally it is out for delivery and you receive it. Okay, this is what generally happens in the transaction of any online or e-commerce site, right? So when we try to correlate this with business process example, okay, where starting with related events. So event is something where you take the initiative of buying a book. So you make some initiation in order to buy the book, right? So that is called as an event.
Okay.
After that, we have something called as activities. Okay. So activities could be something like you start searching for different vendors. Okay. or probably like you looking for the different sites, the activities or tasks that you perform in order to get your transaction done, all come under activities.
Or maybe if I am searching for some sort of a book, then related books or preferred books in the same genre suggestions that is coming up on the website. That's also an example of activity.
That also comes under activities, right? So where you'll get offers, right? Probably like if you buy these two books together, you will get this for a reduced price. So all those would come under activities. So then comes decisions. So decisions probably could be from the customer side or from the vendor side. So you could be thinking if you wanted to do an online payment through internet banking or through debit card or through credit card, or you wanted to do it cash on delivery. So these are the decisions you could take while you are doing this transaction.
Okay.
Right? And from the vendor side, probably the decisioning could be based upon on how does he want to send you the book? Is it through airways? Is it through waterways, roadways, or railways? If you are Amazon Prime customer, assume. So it's like one day delivery, and then the customer has to send it to through the airways. Or if it's like a normal customer, probably it will take like 3-4 days, and he's okay to send it through roadways. So these are the various decisions that could happen in this transaction. Okay. So then comes involving a number of actors. So for a typical business process, it does not involve just one person or one actor. Generally, it does not. Now taking the same example here, the actors involved are probably you, the customer, then you have the vendor, then comes the manufacturer, then the packaging guy, the shipping guy, and then the delivery guy. So all these are the various actors that are acting upon your business process.
Okay.
Right? Then comes resources. So resources are something which support your business process. It is not like if a resource is not present, it halts the business process. No, but still they support your business process. Okay, where if you want to gift wrap your book, so the gift wrapping paper would become one of the resources. Okay, and then other resources could be when the delivery guy comes in, he hands over you the book, and then he asks you for an e-signature, the electronic signature, and probably he would get some device for that, right? So that device could also come as a resource.
Okay.
Okay. And then finally, the important thing is the outcome. As a customer, the outcome for you is receiving the book, and the customer is happy, satisfied. And for the vendor, the outcome is the money that you pay. So this is kind of positive outcome. There could also be a negative outcome where you're not happy, probably the book is damaged or it is not the expected book or something. So you return that book, right, asking for a refund of money, or probably you wanted one more book in exchange. So in that case, the outcome is not positive. So either positive or negative, there should be some outcome for the organization or for the customer. Only then I can call a process, or I can call some process as a business process.
Okay.
And as a BA, it is not like whenever a customer approaches you and he says that he wants to automate or he wants to get his application built. Okay, so blindly you cannot suggest him go with Pega. Right? You should have your own conditions or a set of prerequisites or a set of conditions that have to be satisfied. Only then you can suggest him with this platform. It's not like for every application you cannot say go with Pega, buy the license and then start working with the application. You cannot say that. Right? You have to see if the requirements would suit the Pega platform or not, and only then you can suggest them. Correct? So in order to use a BPM tool or in order to use PEGA in specific, all of these are important, which means they should have events, they should have activities, then there should be decisioning, there should be different set of actors, there should be resources, and then there should be some outcome. Okay, so when the customer comes in and says this is his business process, you should have a check on all of these 6 different entities. Only if all of these are satisfied, then you can go ahead, you can suggest him Pega. Otherwise, any other software development tool, probably like any other thing, Java or any other tool or any other language, which also suffice the requirement, right? So these 6 entities are important that you select Pega for the application development. Okay. Yeah. So then let us move on to BPM. Let us take this example where Java is typically called as an OOP language, right? Because it satisfies all of these OOP principles, starting with object, then class, then other concepts like inheritance, abstraction, encapsulation, and stuff. So there are certain things like only if these are satisfied or only if these are used, I can call that language as OOP. Okay, if myself I am trying to build a new language, saying that that is OOP language, then people start questioning me, asking if your language is satisfying all of these OOP principles or not. Okay. Only then they call it or they approve it to be an OOP based language. So similarly, for BPM also, we have some set of entities or some set of concepts that have to be satisfied. And only then I can call some random tool as BPM. Otherwise, I cannot call it as BPM. Okay. So when talking about BPM, we have something called as BPMN, which means Business Process Management. We call it notation. Okay. Only if all of these body of principles, I mean, we have 10 set of principles which every BPM tool has to follow. Only then I can call it as a BPM tool. Okay. I mean, all those 10 principles are kind of irrelevant for us now. So I'm not going in deeper with that. So along with the body of principles, we should have methods and tools to design, analyze, execute, and monitor the business process. So Pega is something where you can design the business process, you can analyze the business process, you can execute, and you can monitor the business process. Okay. So whenever you are trying to monitor or execute this business process on a unified platform, we call that as a BPM tool. Okay. So in this typical example of online shopping here, I cannot have just one customer executive sitting and looking at all the business processes that occur, right? So as a customer, you have ordered a book. Probably there will be hundreds and thousands of customers who will be dealing with their transactions. Not all are successful and not all of them are in the same stage. Okay, probably few of them could be just order placed, few of them would be like order out for delivery, and few are still in packaging, or few are still waiting for the vendors or manufacturers approval. Right? So each of them would be in different stages in their individual transactions. So I cannot have just one customer executive sitting and looking at each of those transactions, right? Right. So here comes the use of BPM, where you can track and monitor the business process on a single unified platform. Okay. So where you can generate reports and stuff, like probably based upon how many are in the pending stage or how many are out for delivery, and what is the satisfaction index and stuff. So you'll be able to generate reports and stuff where you're trying to manage all of the transactions on a single platform. So this is what is basically about the BPM.
Okay, good.
Right? I mean, you're able to follow, right? If it's comfortable anywhere, you can just stop me then and there.
Yeah. So far it's good.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So the benefits of BPM are basically like agility, because where the organizations would be constantly faced with changes, right? Depending upon the outside environment, so they have to be able to adapt to different changes. So BPM provides you that flexibility to adapt depending upon the environment.
Okay.
And this gives you a lot of transparency also, where because all of the transactions are monitored and taken care. So there wouldn't be any sort of leading
1 second.
information. Yeah.
Sampath, if you don't mind, can you please go on mute? Hello, Sampath?
I think Sampath is on mute only, Raghu.
But I have like a background noise. Okay, so just go on. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, and then one other thing that the advantage of BPM is that you will have consistency and repeatability throughout your application. Okay, as in like if at all there's any problem for one specific customer, so that goes the same way, or the identical problems are addressed all in the same way. It could not be like one customer is handled differently, the other customer is handled differently. No, until unless there are any exceptional cases. Otherwise, all the problems are basically addressed. If the problems are identical, they are addressed in the same way.
Okay.
So, I mean, these are the basic advantages that we have while going with the BPM. So then let us move with why you have to go for PEGA, because there are a lot of other BPM tools as well. You could have heard of you could have heard of other BPM tools like IBM BPM is there. Then we have Appian BPM, then Nintex, TIBCO. A lot of other tools are also available. But
Okay.
yeah, why do we have to choose PEGA comparing with all the other, or probably like why is it more advantageous, is because all of these factors. And before that, this is one of the statistics provided for the various BPM tools, with the research frequency, if you see, which is the highest in PEGA. Okay. So PEGA started with the initial versions, which is like from 5.1. Okay, then we had after 5.1, there's like 6.1, 6.2. Then we got 7.1, 7.2 until 7.4. Now the current version is 8. Starting with, we got 8.1, 8.2, 8.3, and now we have 8.4. The enterprise edition of 8.4 is not yet out, but probably it will be out soon. So these are the, this is basically like the evolution of PEGA, because it keeps evolving with new features, because the research frequency is quite high. And it is also necessary that in order to work with the latest versions or upgraded versions of PEGA, the customers also have to keep on learning, because they always keep on introducing new features, and it is necessary for us, if we want to work with it, we also have to be upgraded and we also have to learn.
Yeah.
So which basically means the research frequency is quite high compared to other BPM tools. And
so the research frequency, when you say research frequency, means the ability to keep updating and improving the platform.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Because now in the latest features, if you see, we have these AI features coming up. I can use artificial intelligence, I can use machine learning models, in order to probably like talking in your terms of customer service related to contact center and stuff, where I can predict what the customer would need in the next we call
next best action.
Exactly. We call that as next best action. So we will be able to suggest customers based upon their choices and preferences. So this is basically done using all our AI models and the machine learning models.
Okay.
So all of those are now part of Pega Infinity. In fact, we'll look at the studios and stuff also, like how we can build models and all of that.
Okay.
So these are the key differentiating factors, you can say, when you go with Pega's approach of application development, where either it is low code or no code, because Pega provides us with all the basic infrastructure that is required. If still we want any other new features, we can always go ahead, we can write our own code and we can use it in the application.
Okay.
And it is model driven. So we have something called as process models, right, in the general terms. So that here is called as a business process, and we'll be able to design the business process in pictorial representations. Okay, then we have visual tools. Then the business users work with IT, which is the main advantage. Then all the documentation is generated, where I do not need to sit and document the whole application again. So because it is automatically generated. And one other basic advantage is this supports responsiveness, so which is not a major focus in any other technologies. For example, if you have built your application for a web browser, okay, so in a web browser, all the UI and the view is perfectly fine. If you try to open that application in a tablet or a mobile phone, so you could have some distorted view there, where you'll get some horizontal scroll bar, and all the text boxes, the text fields would go randomly here and there, because the view does not support your tablet or the mobile phone. So in that case, what you have to do is you have to design your application for different channels. So one application for your web browser, one for your mobile phone, one for your tablet and stuff, right? Which is kind of an additional burden for the developers. But in Pega, it is like once you create or develop your application, it will be the same across all the channels. Okay? You develop it once and you can deploy it in different channels, and the look and feel would still be the same. So that is what is basically responsiveness about. Right? Hello, Raghu, you there?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello?
Okay. Yeah. Able to hear you now. Yeah, fine. So this is what is model-driven application development, where the process or your basic business process is divided into different stages. So I was telling you, right, we'll have something called as cases and case types. So once we start working with the platform, so we'll be able to correlate your business process with the case type. And as a BA, we'll have to work on something called as service levels, which means they are the basic timelines the customer tells, like for this part of the business process, this is the timeline, right? For this particular example of claim submission, where the customer is trying to, customer as in probably the end user, okay, is trying to raise a request for his claim. Okay, he cannot wait for so long, or he cannot wait forever in order to get his claim approved, right? So the customer would expect probably like a 2-week or 3-week period where there is some action on his request. Either it is approved or rejected, that is secondary, but he wants to get his status updated, right? So what is happening with his claim? Is someone acting on it, or is it not even looked at? The customer wants to know. So all those would come under service levels. So we'll be looking at service levels, cases, case types and stuff in like detailed sessions again.
Okay.
Yeah. And moving on, These are the capabilities that PEGA offers us. Direct capture of objectives, like we have already mentioned this, right? Where the requirements are directly put in the application. Then we have something called as guardrails. So these are the standards that PEGA sets in order to monitor your application. So guardrails are measured on a score of 0 to 100. So higher is your guardrail score, the healthy is your application. So which means no deviations are there from your standard rules that PEGA has set.
Okay.
Okay. Then we have extensible applications. So this is what is basically about framework application. So once you build an application as framework application, you can reuse that or extend that particular application for other features or other applications as well. So you yourself can create framework applications. It's not only like you can reuse the existing, you can also create your own framework applications. So then coming to deployment, deployment could be an on-premise or in the cloud. Cloud as in all these Google Cloud, Amazon Cloud. So any sort of cloud or on-premise deployment is always possible.
Okay.
These are the various capabilities PEGA offers us.
Yeah, and just a question.
Yeah.
In the previous slide, where you mentioned model-driven, the one before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Model-driven meaning, is this a model based on the industries that they mean, or what exactly they mean model-driven?
Model-driven basically means that your case or the case type that you define, that will be driven based upon your business process. So the
which means when we have a different industry customers, one from banking, one from automobile, one from another something else. So it is exclusively, it can be designed for their industry and their own business.
Yes, their specific needs. Right, exactly. So it all depends upon, I mean, a business analyst or the business architect here has to have a knowledge of both the business process and the domain as well, so that they'll be able to design this particular case type or that particular business process more effectively.
Okay.
Yeah, they should have a keen knowledge on customers, how the customer's organization is running, or how they want this transaction or this particular business process to be depicted, as well as you should also have a knowledge on the domain.
Yeah,
so
because when I was sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, when I was exploring about this, I did notice something which I could correlate now. Solutions, I think solutions consultant, telecommunications, solutions consultant industry, insurance industry, and different for each solutions consultant role, they are, I think, dedicatedly working for that particular industry to make it more specific for those business needs, I think.
Right, exactly. So when you're defining this case type or the so-called business process, both the domain knowledge is important, as well as how the customer's business process is going on is also important. Key knowledge on both of these is important. Yeah.
Okay. Can go on.
Okay. Then moving on with PEGA installation, we have two types of installations available. So one is the personal edition and other is the enterprise edition. Basically, all the PEGA applications are web applications. So you will be able to open the application in a web browser. So they are not desktop applications. All of them are web applications. So whenever we say web application, then you should have a server, a web server, which is important in order for your application to run. And then we also need to have a DB server. So I mean, anyways, we'll do the we can do the installation of personal edition and stuff. We'll be able to look at that. No issues. And the enterprise edition is like the licensed to version of the PEGA platform. So it is not free of cost. It has to be bought, and then we can start building the enterprise applications.
So the Pega tool normally connects with the installed Pega platform, correct?
I mean, the tool is basically the platform. That's all.
Okay, so this platform, or maybe when you call it tool, so this tool is completely built based on some operating system, or what kind of systems are there?
Not based upon any operating system. With the, I mean, when you dig deeper into the tool or the platform, all the code that is there inside is based upon the OOP. So all the object-oriented concepts.
Okay.
Inside, when you dig deeper, it is all Java code that we look at. So this is basically an abstraction layer that comes across your OOP concepts, or the OOP, I mean, the general OOP concepts that we look at, right? So this Pega is like an abstraction that is there over all these OOP concepts. What you look on the high level is completely like visual tools and drag and drop buttons and stuff. But inside it is all the code again.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it is not based upon any OS or something.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Then. Okay. So then we could have a look at the development studios as well. These development studios are specific to different roles, like the roles of people that are trying to log in your application. So depending upon their role, we show them the corresponding studio. Okay. Until the 7 versions, we did not have role-specific studios. It is with the version 8, Pega Infinity, we have got role-specific studios. And depending upon the functionality, we define the individual studios. So starting with App Studio, Dev Studio, Admin, and Predictive Studio. Okay, let us see what studio is designed for which role.
Okay.
So App Studio, if you see, this is basically intended for the business analysts, the application developers, front-end developers, and data engineers. App Studio is called the Application Studio. So this is what we would be majorly dealing with. Okay, all the stuff designed by or done by business architects is taken care in the App Studio. So then we also have something called as Dev Studio, which is for experienced application developers, account admins, and security admins. So if we need to work on with any complex rules or some complex functionality, so then we have to use the Dev Studio. So this is basically for the developers, or the CSA, CSSA certified, LSAs. These people would be working in the Dev Studio. And the security aspects of your application will be taken care in Dev Studio. Because the end users, because I do not want all the users to access all the features of my application. Depending upon role, I need the features to be shown. Okay, so all the security aspects and the account related aspects will be taken care in the Dev Studio.
Okay.
Then we have Admin Studio, which is specific for administrators. So all the background jobs, the batch processing, the deployments, all of those would be taken care in Admin Studio. Okay. So then moving on to Predictive Studio, this is especially designed for data scientists and data analysts. Okay, here comes the AI features we were talking about, right? All the machine learning models. So I can define adaptive models, predictive models, text categorization models and stuff. All of that can be done in the Predictive Studio.
Okay.
So these are the various studios that are available. And if we have a briefer look on this, App Studio would basically focus on the case design, then data and integrations, channels, UI authoring, and it is helpful for reviews with the stakeholders. We can define the business process then and there and can get it reviewed from the customers directly.
Okay.
So we would be completely dealing with App Studio unless if there's some complex requirement. Mostly App Studio would suffice the requirement for BAs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then for Dev Studio, this is basically for the advanced and complex functionalities. So the system level settings, then security, the reusability of rules, versioning, and how your source control is done, then parallel or branch development. Like when there are different teams, you need parallel development. So all of this is taken care in Dev Studio.
Okay.
Okay. So then moving on to admin. Yeah, for the backend process and system operations. Suppose assume your application is dealing with the insurance domain. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
where the renewals have to be done for every 6 months or 1 year. Okay, I cannot have a service executive sitting and then keep on looking at like which policy has to be renewed. Right, that has to go in a batch process. Correct. So all those batch processing, the backend jobs, all that is taken care in the admin studio.
Okay.
So then for Predictive Studio, yeah, AI models, predictive analytics, data exploration, adaptive analytics. So all of this is done in the Predictive Studio.
I think this Predictive Studio could be a very useful one when you do the next best action suggestions and coming up with
Exactly. Yeah, in fact, now we have a new certification for PEGA certified data scientist. So inside that course, yeah, it is all completely dealing with the Predictive Studio, next best action, customer decision hub. So all of that is taken care in the Predictive Studio. Yeah. Okay. So then moving on. As of now, it is clear, right?
I'm able to follow it. It's good.
Okay. So then moving on with roles. I think this could be probably the last topic. Okay. Yeah. So generally for any project, we need different set of people who are expertise in different aspects. Similarly with PEGA project also, we need people from different expertise streams.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So the various roles that are available are business architect, which is the first important one because that is where the design would start with. Okay. So they work with the stakeholders or product owners to get all the business requirements and business needs. So the service level agreements, which are like the timelines we were discussing, right? So all of those would be taken care by the BA.
Yeah.
So then come system architects, our CSAs, CSSAs, LSAs, core development team. Okay. So who work with the Dev Studio would be our system architects. Okay. Then moving on, yeah, we would obviously need a project manager to look after all the deliveries and planning and stuff. Then we have practice leaders who look after the project and probably see if the project is going as per the plan or not. I mean, providing suggestions with the best practices and stuff. Okay. So then we have product owners. Yeah, they define these product backlogs and prioritization of backlogs and stuff. Then we have QA team who work with both testing the functional aspects as well as the performance of your application. Then we have Scrum Master who looks after all the agile methodologies and the looks after all the Scrum meetings. Then we have specialty architects, where this is completely project dependent if we need specialty architects or not, because probably as a developer, as a Pega developer, maybe I do not have enough expertise on UI UX, user interface and user experience. So in that case, I need a specialty architect for UI UX. So, and then we have SMEs. Probably they could help me with the domain knowledge, or they could help me with the business process knowledge. And then we have system admins and IT resources who look after your basic security of the application, the infrastructure that is required, probably for staging your application into different environments, dev, QA, then prod. All this is taken care by the system admin and IT team. So these are the various roles that are there in a Pega project, but it is not necessary that I should have all these roles intact. Okay, that depends upon the team size and the project requirement. So I always can have overlapping roles where my LSA is also acting as a system administrator. He looks after the deployment also, where it is like an overlapping role. All this depends upon the project size is one consideration. The other one is the project requirement. So depending upon that, the roles would differ. Okay. So probably like these are the things that we'll be looking at. I mean, this is just on a high level of like what is what. That's all. Okay. So yeah, I mean, if you have any questions for the topics that we have discussed today, like we have started with. Let me just go back. So we have started with what is Pega. We have seen the various things related to Pega, like the business together with the IT, using all the visual modes and stuff. Then we have seen process, business process, BPM, and then the key differentiating factors of Pega with other BPM tools and the capabilities and the various studios that Pega Infinity is offering, along with the roles that are available. So this is what we have looked into today.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that I understand Pega BPM tool is a BPM tool.
Okay. Okay.
But we discussed about some of highlighting features like how the system suggests something, what should come next, and how it defines an application, how to design an application based on the customer needs or business needs, and etc. But in the end, we also talk about separate product lines like decision hub and customer service and other things. So these are all part of BPM tool, or they are all completely different products and they are actually integrated with this BPM?
Yeah, I mean, they are not completely different products. They are also part of the BPM, we could say. Because, for example, if we take the customer service application, a typical lost card transaction or lost card scenario. So it will have its own life cycle, right? Probably, I mean, we could interact with the customer in different ways, probably through chat, call, or email, whatever is the channel. So when a customer reports a lost card, there are a set of processes, or that the transaction involves different stages, like what has to happen if a customer reports for a lost card. Okay, the first thing could be like a block card. Okay, then reissue a new card. Okay, then after reissue, probably activating his new card or whatever. So that also involves a series of steps again. Okay,
no,
so which
when
that
I
goes as a business process.
When I serve such business needs, handling credit cards and bank accounts and other businesses. So when I come up as a business architect or an architect, when I come up with such business requirements, okay, I say,
Okay.
hey, I have a customer who has this requirements. So when I choose the solution, and I say that, okay, customer service application is going to be their probable solution. So when I say customer service application, is it that I will be given that product as part of the BPM tool, or BPM tool is different, but customer service application is completely different?
Okay. I got it. Okay, like Pega platform is different. It does not come with any of these customer service applications or marketing applications. It just comes as a platform, a basic platform where you can develop any sort of applications you want.
Okay.
But in specific, if you want customer service application to be built, you have to get that framework.
But that's not part of BPM. That's not.
No. Part of BPM as in that's not part of Pega basic platform.
Okay.
But still, that also follows all the BPM notations. But it does not come as a Pega. It does not come along with Pega platform.
So what are all the basic things that comes as part of Pega platform?
It is just like none of the frameworks or none of the applications which are domain specific. Like I was telling you, right? We have framework specific for insurance domain, banking domain, health. So none of those would come under the basic Pega platform. So if the license is for just Pega platform, you would get the basic platform version. That's all. But
So
if you also
in that Pega basic platform, what could be the what could be the like? Can you give me one example of if I get a basic Pega platform, what feature should I be getting with that?
See, features. You will not get any additional features. So everything has to be developed from scratch.
Okay.
Which means you can build your own custom applications. Like assume if okay, so you wanted to build your own customer service application, okay, without using the framework or the framework application that Pega has provided. You do not want to use that. You want to build your own customer service application.
Okay.
And you can use Pega platform and you can build your own custom application from scratch, where none of the features of your CS application are available.
Okay, so in case customer is open and customer does not want, they do not have any preferred self-development applications, then probably Pega architects will choose what could be the probable solution for them, along with this BPM platform.
Exactly, because if the customer requirement suits any of the existing features of the CS application, which is already available, yeah, they'll suggest that. But if it is no way related to what the customer is wanting, then the purpose of getting that customer service application is not served. Because even if you build your application on that and the customer is not wanting any of those features, it is of no use, right? So then it is good that we come to the basic platform version and build our own application from scratch depending upon the customer's requirement.
Okay. Okay, fine.
Clear, or is it kind of confusing?
No, it's okay. Confusions is still are still good, so that it will get better in the next sessions.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I think probably maybe that's it for today. If you have any other questions.
No, not for today. So.
Okay. Sure.
So do you also have any agenda that we will be going through this entire training course?
Yes. Yeah, I'll share it to Sampath, or probably I can share it to you also.
Okay.
Yeah.
He has my email address.
Yeah. Sampath. Hello, Sampath, you're there?
Maybe he's not listening to this conversation.
Oh, okay. Maybe once after the session, I'll just call him. He can forward the agenda.
Okay.
He already has. He can share.
Okay, then I will follow up with them. So you wanted to
Sure.
actually have at 7 p.m. IST, right? Or 8 p.m. is okay. What's comfortable for you?
I think 7 should be fine, because if we need to extend on any days, it will be comfortable, right? So I think
Yeah.
7 should be fine. But what about you? Is that fine?
No, because today I was actually expecting at 7, but actually we started at 8.
Okay. Yeah, Sampath has shared the invite for 8 o'clock. I thought maybe you are not available, and so he scheduled. So I said, yeah, for demo, it was fine.
Okay, but yesterday when we discussed, I remember
Yeah,
that you preferred 7.
we
So
agreed. Yes.
okay, then I will talk to him again. Then we will do that 7 p.m. Your time.
Yeah, we could do 7 to 8, probably like 1 hour. And if possible, during the weekends, we can extend. Yeah, depending
Okay,
upon
so
your visibility.
okay, good. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, then. Thanks, Raghu. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.